a common response to online harm. But that said, anonymity also plays a dual role. While it can enable abuse on platforms, it also allows women, it allows folks who identify as genderqueer, gender diverse persons to be able to seek support, to be able to claim spaces online without fear of retaliation. This is again something that we studied in some detail, and our recommendation was that perhaps we should look at something that's a little bit more proportionate, something that's a little bit more risk based, one that focuses on identifying through targeted tools rather than mandating identity disclosure for everybody. I should be able to access the internet anonymously if that's what I want, because that's the point and the promise of the internet as well, to be able to access it as a safe space where my identity is not something that I need to verify all the time. So the real challenge then, therefore, is how do you create a safe space while you're where you don't have to choose between safety and anonymity? How do we design systems that deliver smarter accountability, clearer recourse, and informed policy grounded in lived experience? And with that, I'm very glad that I don't have to answer these questions today, and I'm very, very pleased to call on our panelists. May I start with Her Excellency, the Norwegian Ambassador to India, the Digital Empowerment Foundation, Uttara Ganesh from SNAP, and our moderator, Rajiv Makhani, award-winning media personality, tech expert, author. Please, I will hand this over to you, Rajiv.
So let me set context first. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming in. I know many of you, including Soha, have flown in from various places, various cities, various countries. But of course, my heart goes out to all of you who traveled from Gurgaon and Noida. That was the tougher journey for sure, right? So while that was one tough journey we've done, we've got a lot more to cover with this panel today. And while this mic seems to be not behaving very well and I could get cut off, but at NDTV, when I used to be there, there used to be a term called "you don't have to be shout to be heard." And Andrea and so have shown that you don't really need to do that. And I don't think either of the people in the panel will also need to do that. I think the context has been set by Neha. I think Andrea and so have already said everything I wanted to say, but I will just set context for what is important to me as somebody that does take his technology very, very seriously and also sees all that has gone wrong with the way technology has gone till now. But I also am very frightened by what is going to be happening very, very soon. On the threshold of witnessing what I think is the single largest digital advancement in human history. Now, I know with an AI Impact Summit, you will hear this term in various ways. The words may change, but you'll hear this.
Great founders who are focused on customer needs, local customer needs, right? And that they may be very different. That know how to make money. Talent, which might be a combination of AI talent and human talent, to create a great company. So I think it's possible.
How many people are looking for capital in their AI company?
Okay. Come find me on LinkedIn.
I'm going to move to Arctic. Arctic and Abby share a very nice background with us at companies which were acquired. Arctic was at the India AI mission for years. I asked him earlier today, and he says he started Activate as an organic next step of his life, and it's brilliant. I think that's. And Activate is perhaps India's one or two, perhaps the only leading VC full stack, which is helping entrepreneurs get the resources for building AI. Am I right? And if I am, you are about 2-3 months old as Activate. What have you learned in the India AI mission, being an advisor to this event itself, and now doing Activate? What are you seeing, and why did you jump ship and say, "Nahi karna, abhi ye karna"?
I think I was just tired of answering this question, where is AI in India? And I'm glad you didn't ask that question as the first in this session itself, which is, and more recently the questions have been about how do I get into Bharat Mandapam, but that will leave for later.
Are
But
you building for that?
there's no AI that can solve for that, unfortunately. So, I think just like you mentioned, I built this company called Haptic, and we were part of the same ecosystem for a long time. We built AI chatbots in 2014. So I've been trying to explain to people what a chatbot does, since then. And then over the last 2 or 3 years, repeatedly this notion that India is behind in AI kept coming up. I think if we have to be honest to ourselves, we are probably not leading today, right? There is things we have to do to catch up and accelerate this wave. That's the reason why I decided to spend some time with the government on the mission, and that's what led to Activate with the core belief that the AI of Bharat or Indian AI will be created by deeply technical founders. So, one of the things that we saw repeatedly over the last 2 years is that traditionally company building in everywhere in the world, but in India particularly, used to happen like this. There used to be business CEO founders like us who would find a great tech co-founder to pawn into our idea, and then we would start building something to working backward from a problem and a use case. The new AI companies that are being built everywhere in the world, and I'm starting to see this happen in India, and that's our entire thesis, are actually being built technology forward, where it's actually two nerds or techies who are hacking away using the latest, Claude bot or Bolt or latest Claude release, without necessarily knowing which problem they are going to solve. As they're tinkering and hacking away, they end up building something that is extremely interesting and unique, economically viable, and then they marry it with a particular